Bobby Clark's career is as controversial as it is legendary, with his aggressive style of play, tough decisions as a manager, and the physical toll his body endured drawing attention throughout his career. Despite these controversies, Clark is widely regarded as one of the greatest players in NHL history, with a career packed with impressive achievements. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up while you're at it. During the 1972 Summit Series, Clark became part of one of the most talked about moments in hockey history. In a heated game against the Soviet Union, Clark delivered a brutal two-handed slash to Soviet star Valery Kharlamov, breaking his ankle. This move had a huge impact on the series, as Kharlamov was one of the key players for the Soviets. The incident has sparked a lot of debate over the years. Many people believe Clark's slash was deliberate and unsportsmanlike, seeing it as a move to take out one of the best players on the other team. It's something that's still discussed among hockey fans, with some defending Clark as just playing tough, while others say it was a dirty move that crossed the line. Whatever the opinion, it's a moment that's stuck with hockey history, and Clark's actions in that series are still a big part of his legacy. When Clark was the captain of the Philadelphia Flyers during their legendary Broad Street Bullies era, he was right in the middle of a team that became famous for its tough, no-holds-barred style of hockey. The Flyers, under Clark's leadership, were all about being physical, hitting hard, fighting when needed, and intimidating their opponents. This aggressive approach wasn't just for show. It helped them win a lot of games and even snag 2 Stanley Cups in the 1970s. The Flyers were feared, and for good reason. But while their tough guy reputation brought them success on the ice, it also made them the target of a lot of criticism. A lot of people felt that the Flyers were more focused on violence and pushing people around than on playing the game with skill and finesse. Some even argued that this kind of play was hurting the sport, overshadowing the exciting, fast-paced parts of hockey that fans love. For every person who admired the Flyers' grit and physicality, there were others who thought they took it too far, turning the game into something more about fights than the actual sport. Despite all the mixed opinions, there's no denying that Clark and the Broad Street Bullies left an unforgettable mark on hockey. They might not have been everyone's cup of tea, but they certainly made their presence felt, and their style of play is still talked about today, whether people loved it or hated it. In 2022, Clark made some pretty bold comments about Ron Hextall, a former Flyers goaltender and general manager. Clark publicly accused Hextall of alienating people within the organization and playing a part in the team's struggles. Those words definitely stirred the pot, sparking a lot of debates among fans and the media. It wasn't just a casual remark, it highlighted some serious tension within the Flyers organization. Fans and analysts alike started to pick sides, talking about whether Clark was justified in speaking out or if he was just adding fuel to the fire. It's no secret that the Flyers have had their share of ups and downs over the years, and these comments only seem to underscore the bigger picture of internal conflicts and frustration with the team's direction. It brought a lot of attention to the ongoing struggles of the organization, and people were left wondering if the issues ran deeper than just on-ice performance. The whole situation only added to the drama surrounding the Flyers at the time, making it clear that not everyone in the organization was on the same page. Clark's playing style on the ice was all about toughness, relentless checking, borderline hits, and he wasn't afraid to drop the gloves and fight when needed. This approach definitely got people talking, and not always in a good way. For fans who loved his style, Clark was the ultimate competitor, someone who gave it his all every single game. His grit and determination made him a standout player, someone who never backed down. But for others, that same aggressive style made him look like a dirty player who often crossed the line. They felt that Clark's hits weren't just hard, but unnecessary and at times overly physical. His willingness to engage in fights, even when it wasn't always called for, added to that reputation. People who didn't like him saw it as more than just tough hockey. It was a game of intimidation. So while Clark was admired by many for his heart and never-quit attitude, there were just as many who thought he took things a bit too far. It was a style that sparked plenty of debate and still gets discussed when talking about his legacy. Clark's journey to the NHL started in the small northern town of Flin Flon, Manitoba, where he was born. He started playing organized hockey when he was just 8 years old, but things took an unexpected turn when he was around 12 or 13. That's when he found out he had type 1 diabetes, which could have derailed his dreams of playing at the highest level. Despite this challenge, Clark didn't let it hold him back. He thrived as a player for the Flin Flon Bombers, leading the league in scoring in his last 3 years of junior hockey. However, the fact that he had diabetes caused concerns for NHL teams. They weren't sure if he'd ever be able to play in the league because of his condition. But then, Bombers coach Pat Ginnell stepped in. After the 1967-68 season, he took Clark to the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, where doctors gave Clark the green light to play professionally, as long as he managed his diabetes properly. Even with this reassurance, Clark was still picked in the second round of the 1969 NHL draft, 17th overall by the Philadelphia Flyers. His talent was so obvious that right after the Flyers picked him, both the Detroit Red Wings and the Montreal Canadiens tried to trade for him, each offering pretty tempting deals. But the Flyers weren't interested. They made it clear Clark was off limits. It was the start of what would become a legendary career with Philadelphia. Clark's NHL journey was a memorable one, and it all started when he made his debut for the Philadelphia Flyers on October 11, 1969, wearing number 16. Just a couple of weeks later, he picked up his first point, an assist on a goal by Lou Morrison against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Not long after, Clark scored his first goal, a beauty against Ed Giacomin of the New York Rangers. It didn't take long for him to prove himself, finishing his rookie season with 46 points, including 15 goals and 31 assists, earning a spot in the NHL All-Star Game and winning NHL Rookie of the Year honors from the Sporting News. He finished fourth in voting for the Calder Memorial Trophy, which is given to the league's best rookie. In his second season, 1970-71, Clark led the Flyers in scoring with 27 goals and 36 assists. However, the next year, the 1971-72 season, didn't start well for Clark. He had a tooth abscess that left him 20 pounds underweight, and he struggled early on, posting just 5 goals and 11 assists in 31 games. But Clark was known for his resilience, and he bounced back in a big way, finishing the season with 35 goals and 46 assists, earning a spot in the Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy for perseverance and dedication. His career took another huge step when, at just 23, he was named the Flyers captain, making him the youngest captain in NHL history at the time. He scored one of the biggest goals of his career in overtime of Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals against the Boston Bruins, helping the Flyers even the series. The Flyers eventually won their first ever Stanley Cup, defeating the Bruins in 6 games. Clark's gritty leadership helped neutralize some of the Bruins' best players, including Bobby Orr. The next season, 1974-75, Clark was even better, finishing with 116 points, including a career-high 89 assists. He led the Flyers to another Stanley Cup Finals, where they defeated the Buffalo Sabres in 6 games, and Clark earned his second Hart Trophy as the league's MVP. He was named to the NHL First All-Star Team, and the Flyers were firmly established as one of the best teams in the league. In 1975-76, Clark had a stellar season, playing with Reggie Leach and Bill Barber on the LCB line, setting a record for most goals by a line. Clark also had a career-high 119 points and led the league with a +83 rating. Though the Flyers lost in the finals, Clark was named MVP again. Despite some injuries and challenges, including managing diabetes, Clark remained a key player. He retired in 1984 to become the Flyers GM, leaving a huge impact both with the Flyers and Team Canada, including winning gold at the 1976 Canada Cup. His leadership and skill made him one of the best. On Bobby Clark Night in 1984, the Flyers retired his National 16 jersey and created the Bobby Clark Trophy, awarded to the team's MVP. Clark was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1987 and honored with multiple Hall of Fame inductions, including in Philadelphia and Canada. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an update.
Playing this tournament in, I think it was New York, and I hear I'm supposed to play this young kid that's got a lot of flair and a lot of flamboyance, and has actually played some pretty damn good tennis too, and it happened to be Vitas, and comes out and plays and actually beats me. I thought I was the young kid coming in, and all of a sudden there's this kid 2 years younger than I coming onto the tour and competing at a high level right away.
What really went down behind the scenes of tennis rebel Vitas Gerulaitis' shocking and way too soon death? He lived life on his own terms, broke all the rules, and absolutely crushed it on the court. But off it, he struggled mightily to reinvent himself. What secrets was he hiding? What is the real legacy he left behind? Born on July 26, 1954, in Brooklyn, New York, Vitas was born for greatness. His Lithuanian immigrant parents instilled in him the passion and drive that would take him to the top. But the question is, what makes a champion? Vitas grew up in Howard Beach, Queens, where he was literally a force to be reckoned with on the tennis court. Attending Archbishop Molloy High School, his talent was visibly plain. So what pushed him to play tennis full-time? Was it the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat? Vitas took a wild gamble by quitting Columbia University in the pursuit of dreams. And boy, did he deliver quite a career. Known as the Lithuanian Lion, he was a very enthusiastic player, but at heart, he was golden. But did you know that his sister, Ruda, was also a professional tennis player? Now, if I ever saw a powerful serve of sibling rivalry, that definitely would be it. Not to digress, though. In 1975, Vitas led the Pittsburgh Triangles to a very exciting championship at the Civic Arena in World Team Tennis, marking his name in the minds of all as one to be watched. He, too, had spent a brilliant time with them from 1974 to 1976, which really confirmed he was not going anywhere. And in 1977, he turned out for the Indiana Loves franchise and left his impact. And of course, who could forget the Grand Slam great Vitas? His 1975 Wimbledon men's doubles title was a showpiece of superb teamwork and tactics taken out onto the courts, with Sandy Mayer as his co-player. It was a match made in heaven, where Vitas's powerful serves were well complemented by Mayer's razor-sharp volleys. The real gem was the championship he won at the 1977 Australian Open men's singles. In an exciting ending, Vitas outmaneuvered Roscoe Tanner, champion of the earlier January tournament. It was a story of two tournaments, with Vitas coming out on top in the December clash. Vitas was a phenomenal tennis player, but dabbled in some very unforgiving substances and had his share of scandalous moments off the court. Doping wasn't such an anomaly in those times. It very nearly got Vitas thrown into the slammer, too. Before we get to that juicy bit, like, subscribe. And now let's hop onto the court. So what did Vitas believe in? First and foremost, partying. As in flying in a private jet, going to Studio 54, and hanging out with some of the biggest celebrities of the time, including Andy Warhol and Mick Jagger. He reportedly had one of the largest American Express bills in the world. Yeah, he was living large. He used to fly into tournaments surrounded by gaggles of beautiful girls and his pals. Of course, all wasn't glamour and glitz in Vitas's life. He used hard drugs to get through the pressures of his superstar life. A friend, John Lloyd, described Vitas as a social user who would party hard and subsequently punish himself by going on rigorous training. He would go on benders for weeks, then train hours a day to get in shape. Vitas was such a multi-level sort of very complex guy, despite his demons. He was a true original, a man with a heart of gold and an adventure. He dated stars of their time, such as Chris Evert, Cheryl Tiegs, and Jennifer O'Neill. One can never forget his 21st birthday party, where he invited the fans to a pajama party and ended up with lipstick on his collar. His drug habits nearly caught up with him. In 1983, a new chapter opened when there was a federal investigation into a cocaine conspiracy. A grand jury voted not to indict Vitas, though the question beckoned. What really went on? Was he involved in a plot to buy $20,000 worth of angel dust? It was closed, but the truth was still veiled. It all started with the mention of Vitas' name by a cocaine conspiracy narcotics defendant, which had triggered the investigation and brought out questions. The sad truth being, things did not really come to a promising end for Vitas. He died tragically on September 17, 1994, which even shocked the world of tennis. But what exactly happened on that night? Gerulaitis was a guy who liked his fun and often overdid it, but he had certainly been more than truthful about his drug problems and had tried to get help. So what was it that killed him? An accident or something even worse? What would soon emerge was the fact that bizarre conjunctions of circumstance had combined to kill Gerulaitis. A malfunctioning propane heater, some quick adjustments by a technician, and a carbon monoxide leak converged. A perfect storm, so to speak, to kill Gerulaitis. But was it just a coincidence? Days before his death, Gerulaitis was out playing in charity events and tennis matches. He had played his final match with Jimmy Connors just days before and was scheduled to appear at a dinner at the Racquet Club of East Hampton the very night he died. But he never showed up. His teammates on the field remembered the sense of humor, joie de vivre, and professionalism he exhibited in the game. They were also aware of his cocaine addiction problem during the late 1970s and 1980s. Was he really free from those demons? The heater had been recently adjusted by a technician just days before Gerulaitis' death, and even if an exhaust pipe had been longer, carbon monoxide would have still been drawn into the air conditioning vent. It was a ticking time bomb, just waiting to happen. The family of Gerulaitis settled finally in a confidential way, but nothing can dispel the tragedy of his death, and his death will remain a reminder about life's unpredictability, which is very inconsistent. His legacy continues to be memorialized in a reminder of life's instability and the role of living in the present. The question that must be asked, though, is what really did happen that night? Vytas left behind a glorious legacy, despite his many battles off the court against drug addiction and extracurricular affairs and controversies. Let's take a walk down memory lane and relive some of his most iconic moments. In 1977, Gerulaitis took his most significant title at the Australian Open when, on New Year's Eve, he outlasted John Lloyd in a 5-set seesaw thriller. Can you believe it? What a way to start the year. In February 1981, Vytas Gerulaitis emerged as a victor in the Toronto Indoor Highly Attended Invitational Tournament. He thrashed Connors and McEnroe on his way to winning it. That's called a statement win. During his career, Gerulaitis won 25 top-level singles titles, as well as 8 doubles titles. His career-high singles ranking was world number 3, attained on February 27, 1978. Not bad for a rebel with a cause. Gerulaitis was noted for quick hands at the net and court coverage. He teamed up with Bobby Riggs in 1985 in a challenge to female players in tennis, following the famed Battle of the Sexes. Although this stunt didn't last long, it speaks much for his courage and determination. After leaving the professional tour in 1986, Gerulaitis became a great tennis commentator and coach. He even coached Pete Sampras at the Italian Open in 1994 and saw him win the title there. That's it for this one. If you enjoy tennis legends, our video on Johnny Mac is a treat.
Roscoe Tanner, a name synonymous with one of the fastest serves in tennis history. His cannonball serve and aggressive style captivated audiences in the 1970s and 80s, propelling him to the Wimbledon final and a top 5 ranking. But his career was also marred by controversy, with a series of financial and legal troubles that overshadowed his on-court achievement. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to explore the dramatic lives of sports stars. In this video, we delve into the turbulent journey of Roscoe Tanner, from the heights of Wimbledon to the depths of imprisonment, uncovering the story behind the serve and the struggles that defined his legacy. Roscoe Tanner's name is synonymous with one thing: the cannonball serve. It was a weapon that struck fear into the hearts of opponents, a thunderous delivery that could reach speeds exceeding 150 mph. In an era dominated by serve and volley tennis, Tanner's serve was a force of nature, a spectacle that captivated audiences and left them in awe. Developing this weapon took years of dedication and practice. From his early days on the courts of Chattanooga, Tennessee, Tanner honed his technique, focusing on generating maximum power and pace. His unorthodox motion, a whip-like action that propelled the ball with incredible velocity, became his signature. The cannonball serve was more than just speed. It was about precision and placement. Tanner could paint the lines with his serves, hitting aces with pinpoint accuracy. His opponents often found themselves lunging in vain, their rackets flailing as the ball whizzed past them. This weapon propelled him to the top of the tennis world. He reached a career-high singles ranking of number 4 in 1979, the same year he reached the Wimbledon final. In that memorable match against Bjorn Borg, Tanner's serve was on full display, keeping him in the contest despite Borg's relentless ground strokes. Though he ultimately fell short, his performance solidified his place among the game's elite. The cannonball serve was a defining characteristic of Tanner's career, a weapon that earned him victories, shattered records, and left a lasting impression on the sport. It was a testament to his dedication, his unique style, and his ability to harness raw power with pinpoint accuracy. Even today, Tanner's serve is remembered as one of the most formidable weapons in tennis history, a testament to the impact he had on the game. Roscoe Tanner's life took a dramatic turn in the years following his retirement from professional tennis. The once celebrated athlete found himself entangled in a web of financial and legal troubles that tarnished his reputation and led to a series of personal setbacks. The downward spiral began with accusations of financial misdeeds, including writing bad checks and failing to meet his child support obligations. These issues escalated, leading to his arrest and imprisonment in Germany in 2003. He was subsequently extradited to the United States, where he faced further legal proceedings and served time for his offenses. Tanner's legal troubles continued to mount. He faced repeated accusations of violating probation, failing to pay child support and alimony to multiple women, and engaging in further financial irregularities. These issues resulted in lawsuits, arrests, and a further decline in his public image. In 2014, Tanner's financial struggles culminated in bankruptcy. He filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy protection, citing debts exceeding $1 million. This filing revealed the extent of his financial woes and the challenges he faced in managing his personal finances. Adding to his legal woes, Tanner also faced multiple arrests for driving with a suspended license. These violations demonstrated a disregard for the law and further contributed to his tarnished reputation. Tanner's financial and legal troubles painted a stark contrast to the image of the successful athlete he once was. His story highlighted the challenges faced by many professional athletes in managing their finances and navigating life after retirement. It also served as a cautionary tale about the potential consequences of poor decision-making and the importance of taking responsibility for one's actions. Roscoe Tanner's story is a stark reminder that fame and fortune can be a double-edged sword. While his cannonball serve propelled him to the heights of professional tennis, his life off the court was marred by a series of poor choices and legal battles that ultimately overshadowed his athletic achievements. The financial and legal troubles that plagued Tanner's post-tennis life paint a picture of a man struggling to adapt to a world outside the spotlight. The sudden loss of income, coupled with the pressures of maintaining a lifestyle associated with his former fame, may have contributed to his financial difficulties and questionable decision-making. The repeated accusations of writing bad checks, failing to pay child support, and violating probation suggest a pattern of irresponsible behavior and a disregard for legal obligations. These actions not only damaged his reputation, but also led to imprisonment and further legal consequences. Tanner's story highlights the challenges faced by many athletes who struggle to transition to a life after professional sports. The sudden shift from a structured environment with a steady income to a more unpredictable world can be overwhelming, leading to financial instability and personal struggles. It also serves as a cautionary tale about the allure of fame and fortune. The temptations and pressures associated with a high-profile lifestyle can lead to poor choices and a sense of entitlement. The consequences of these choices, as Tanner's story demonstrates, can be devastating, leading to a downward spiral that is difficult to escape. Roscoe Tanner's journey is a reminder that success on the court doesn't guarantee a smooth path in life. It underscores the importance of responsible financial management, ethical decision-making, and the need for athletes to seek support and guidance as they navigate the complexities of life beyond the spotlight. Roscoe Tanner's journey through life has been marked by stark contrasts, the soaring highs of his tennis career juxtaposed with the crushing lows of his personal struggles. While his cannonball serve and aggressive style earned him a place in tennis history, his off-court troubles have left a tarnished legacy. Despite the setbacks and controversies, Tanner has shown glimpses of remorse and a desire to make amends. He has acknowledged his mistakes and expressed regret for the harm he caused. He has also sought to rebuild his life, working as a tennis coach and contributing to charitable causes. However, his journey towards redemption has been fraught with challenges. His repeated legal violations and financial struggles suggest a continued battle with personal demons and a difficulty in maintaining stability. Whether Roscoe Tanner can fully reconcile his past with his present remains to be seen. His story is a reminder that even those who achieve great success are not immune to the complexities of life and the consequences of poor choices. It is a tale of talent and turmoil, of triumphs and tribulation, and the ongoing struggle for redemption. Roscoe Tanner's legacy is a complex one, marked by both remarkable achievements on the tennis court and a series of troubling events off it. His cannonball serve and aggressive style of play earned him a place among the top players of his era, culminating in a Wimbledon final appearance and a career-high ranking of world number 4. However, his legacy is undeniably tarnished by his repeated financial and legal troubles. The controversies surrounding Tanner's personal life have overshadowed his tennis accomplishments, leaving a sense of what if? What if he had been able to avoid these troubles? Could he have achieved even greater success on the court? While his talent and contributions to the sport cannot be erased, his legacy remains a cautionary tale about the importance of responsible decision-making and the potential consequences of unchecked personal struggles. It serves as a reminder that even those who reach the pinnacle of their sport can fall victim to the pressures and temptations of fame and fortune. Roscoe Tanner's story is a cautionary tale of unfulfilled potential and the challenges of navigating life beyond the spotlight. His powerful serve and aggressive style made him a force to be reckoned with on the court, but his off-court struggles ultimately overshadowed his tennis achievement. His journey serves as a reminder of the importance of making wise choices and the complexities faced by athletes in managing their lives and finances after their playing days are over. Do you think Roscoe Tanner's off-court troubles overshadow his accomplishments on the tennis court? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations of the lives and legacies of sports figures. Departures always get people talking, especially when they seem unusual. That's exactly what happened with NHL legend Brian Leetch. His move from the New York Rangers to the Toronto Maple Leafs felt abrupt and didn't come with the kind of send-off you'd expect for a player of his status. Just as fans were still trying to make sense of it, news of his DUI surfaced, raising even more questions about his character. Leetch's career was filled with legendary moments, but some parts of his story sparked plenty of debate and discussion. His trade from the New York Rangers to the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2004, for instance, didn't sit well with a lot of fans. Leetch had been the heart and soul of the Rangers for so long, and many felt the team didn't give him the proper farewell someone of his stature deserved. It was the kind of move that made people wonder if there was more going on behind the scenes, maybe some internal conflicts that were never made public. Just as fans were coming to terms with the trade, Leetch found himself in the spotlight again, but this time for all the wrong reasons. In November 2006, news broke that he'd been arrested and charged with driving under the influence of alcohol. It was a tough moment for Leetch, and one that caught fans and the media off guard. He later pleaded guilty to the charge, which resulted in a one-year conditional discharge, a fine, and restrictions on his driver's license. While the incident drew some negative attention, Leetch stepped up, took responsibility for his actions, and made sure to avoid further legal trouble. For a while, things settled down, and life stayed relatively quiet. Then in 2011, a new controversy emerged, this time tied to an entirely different situation. Emails surfaced from Colin Campbell, the NHL's disciplinarian at the time, which seemed to show bias against Leetch's former Rangers teammate, Mark Savard. The emails caused a stir, with Leetch and other players raising concerns about whether the league's disciplinary process was truly fair and impartial. It wasn't just a minor issue. It opened up a broader conversation about transparency and trust in the NHL's leadership. Fast forward to 2013, and Leetch found himself back in the NHL spotlight, but this time in an official role. He joined the league's Department of Player Safety, a position that made sense given his wealth of experience and deep knowledge of the game. But in another surprising turn, he left the role after just 1 year. The NHL never provided a clear explanation for his departure, which naturally led to speculation. Was it a matter of effectiveness? A clash of opinions? Fans and insiders could only guess. But the lack of answers left people wondering. Despite some drama and challenges along the way, his legendary status remains unquestioned, and his story continues to inspire countless players and fans. Leetch's path to the NHL began with a strong foundation in college hockey, where he played 1 season at Boston College. His talent and potential were evident from the start, and it wasn't long before he made an even bigger mark. In 1988, he represented the United States at the Winter Olympics in Calgary. Just 8 days after the games ended, he stepped onto NHL ice for the first time, making his debut with the New York Rangers on February 29, 1988, in a game against the St. Louis Blues. It didn't take long for Leetch to leave his mark. He recorded his first NHL point with an assist on a goal by Kelly Kisiou. By the end of that season, He had racked up 14 points in just 17 games, a sign of even bigger things to come. In his first full NHL season, Leach showcased his offensive skills like no other rookie defenseman had done before. He scored 23 goals, a record for rookie defensemen, and tallied 71 points. His outstanding performance earned him the Calder Memorial Trophy as the league's top rookie and a spot on the NHL All-Rookie team. It was clear that Leach was a rising star, and Rangers fans couldn't wait to see how far he could take the team. As the Rangers began building a championship-caliber roster, Leach quickly became a fan favorite. In 1992, Leach achieved a historic milestone, becoming just the fifth defenseman in NHL history and the only American to record 100 points in a season. That year, he also won the Norris Trophy as the league's best defenseman. Remarkably, Leach's 100-point season remained unmatched by any defenseman until Erik Karlsson hit the mark in the 2022-23 season. Unfortunately, not everything went smoothly for Leach during his career. In March 1993, he suffered a broken ankle after slipping on black ice while stepping out of a cab. The injury ended his season early and had a ripple effect on the Rangers, who missed the playoffs that year. But Leach rebounded in spectacular fashion. In the 1993-94 season, he tied his career high with 23 goals, helping the Rangers capture the President's Trophy as the league's top regular season team. That postseason, Leach played a crucial role in ending the Rangers' 54-year championship drought. The team defeated the Vancouver Canucks in a dramatic 7-game Stanley Cup final, and Leach's performance earned him the Conn Smythe Trophy as playoff MVP. He became the first non-Canadian player to win the award and remained the only American to do so until Tim Thomas achieved the feat in 2011. Leach's list of accomplishments didn't stop there. He became only the second player in NHL history, after Bobby Orr, to win the Calder Trophy, the Norris Trophy, and the Conn Smythe Trophy during his career. This rare achievement solidified his place among hockey's elite. Decades later, only one other player, Cale Makar, has managed to join that exclusive club. After the Rangers' championship run, Leach remained a cornerstone of the team and a beloved figure in New York. When Mark Messier left the Rangers for the Vancouver Canucks in 1997, Leach took over as team captain, a role he held until Messier returned in 2000. During his tenure as captain, Leach led by example, both on and off the ice. In 1996, he added another highlight to his career by captaining Team USA to victory in the inaugural World Cup of Hockey, further solidifying his legacy as one of the greatest American players in the sport. Leach's success continued in 1997 when he won his second Norris Trophy. That same year, the Rangers made an unexpected run to the Eastern Conference Finals, only to be stopped by the Philadelphia Flyers. Unfortunately, the following years were less kind to the Rangers, as they failed to make the playoffs for several seasons. Despite the team's struggles, Leach's individual brilliance remained constant, and his reputation as one of the game's greatest defensemen only grew. In 1998, he was ranked 71st on the Hockey News list of the 100 greatest hockey players, a testament to his impact on the game. In 2004, after a disappointing season, the Rangers decided to trade many of their veteran players, including Leach. His move to the Toronto Maple Leafs just before the trade deadline shocked fans and marked the end of an era in New York. The trade was controversial, with many feeling that the Rangers hadn't given Leach the proper send-off he deserved. Leach played for the Maple Leafs during the lockout-shortened 2004 season and later joined the Boston Bruins for the 2005-06 campaign. It was with the Bruins that he achieved another milestone, recording his 1,000th career point. Following the 2005-06 season, Leach turned down contract offers from several teams and officially announced his retirement in 2007. By the time he retired, Leach had put together an 18-year career that included countless unforgettable moments. He finished with 1,028 points in 105 NHL games, a remarkable achievement for a defenseman. Leach's retirement was celebrated in grand fashion. In 2007, he was honored with the Lester Patrick Trophy for his outstanding contributions to hockey in the United States. The following year, the Rangers retired his iconic number 2 jersey, raising it to the rafters of Madison Square Garden, alongside the numbers of Mark Messier, Mike Richter, Rod Gilbert, and Eddie Giacomin. Leach's ceremony included a special video message from Derek Jeter, who congratulated him from one number two to another. Later that year, Leach was inducted into the United States Hockey Hall of Fame, and in 2009, he received the ultimate honor, induction into the Hockey Hall of Fame. After his playing career, Leach remained connected to the NHL, briefly serving as a manager in the league's Department of Player Safety in 2015. Though his time in that role was short-lived, it was another chapter in a life dedicated to hockey. He built a career that continues to inspire and captivate fans. While there were moments of controversy and challenge, his achievements on the ice far outweigh the drama. Brian Leach will forever be remembered as one of the best to ever play the game. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more great content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.